Hello, my name is Eric. Today we're going to be covering my concept map for Journal Assignment 3 in Rhetoric and Public Speaking. And we also have some technical issues with the laptop. I'm not able to record my audio, my voice through the laptop, so I'm doing it with my phone. And I'm going to be pointing the phone to the laptop screen. So please bear with me as I record this video. My speech focuses on two techniques for rhetorical impact, epidiorthosis and prodiorthosis, and I'll give an example of each one and what they mean. I'll also explain what they mean. Epidiorthosis is a technique that clarifies or intensifies a previous statement. And prodiorthosis briefly mentions a topic and returns to it later, often to build suspense or deepen engagement. And like I said, I'll give you an example of that later. I know that says it on the screen, and I'm not just trying to read off the slide to you. In my concept map, I started with a base statement, something simple and direct, and then mapped out how each technique could be applied to that statement. I included the purpose and effect of each technique, a breakdown of demonstration steps, and a final reflection on how these techniques influence audience participation or perception and participation as well. This structure helped me to visualize not just the mechanics of the techniques, but their rhetorical impact. It also gave me a clear framework for how to present examples and guide the audience through each concept. Creating the concept map definitely helped me recognize my thoughts. It forced me to define each technique precisely and think through how they function in real speech scenarios. Instead of just listing definitions, I had to consider how they interact with the audience, the psychology and rhetorical flow. It also helped me identify the strongest examples and sequence them logically. Without the map, I might have presented the techniques in isolation. With it, I can show how they build on each other and contribute to persuasive communication. To illustrate epidiorthosis as an example, let's take the base statement. This policy is flawed, right? Using epidiorthosis, I might revise it to, this policy is not just flawed, it's fundamentally unsound and unsupported by evidence. That intensifies the original claim and adds some precision to it. So I'm not just saying that something is flawed, I'm also giving a detailed explanation of why I think it's flawed. It intensifies the statement in that manner, so it's more intensifies, more it speaks more loudly to the audience, for lack of a better term. For prodiorthosis, this one I might begin with a base statement. There's one issue we haven't addressed. Then after covering other points, right? So if I'm going through and I'm explaining a proposal or a policy, right? I'm going over a policy and I say that there's one issue that we haven't addressed in this policy, but I go through the entire policy explaining the whole thing. And I come back and say the lack of that issue, the lack of transparency, is what undermines the entire proposal or the entire policy. That builds suspense. So I'm going through and I'm explaining an entire policy in an organization, maybe, or in a project, whatever we're doing, and I come back to the original issue and explain what that original issue is. That builds suspense and engages curiosity among the audience. The audience is kind of built up to the idea of what is this one thing that's lacking or that's this one issue within the policy. Okay, so including these examples helped me to see how the techniques function rhetorically, not just conceptually. It also clarified how I want to structure my speech. So starting with the base statement, applying each technique, and guiding the audience through the impact. Thanks for watching. This concept map gave me a solid foundation for my informative speech, and I'm looking forward to refining the outline and preparing the final delivery. Thank you very much.